sorry to be a piñata party on Biden, but he's given us ample opportunity. You and I have talked a lot about the new Gilded Age of the United Corporations of America. And it's kind of always been a Gilded Age, but over the last, I'd say 5 to 10 years, it is now a new Gilded Age. And Biden has tweeted this out the other day. Here's the deal. Gotta love what he says. Here's the deal. America is the only leading economy in the world where the economy as a whole is stronger than before the pandemic. Our economic plans are working. Let me repeat. Here's the deal. Corn pop. America is the only leading economy in the world where the economy as a whole is stronger than before the pandemic. Our economic plans are working. So we could get into which economy he's talking about is stronger, whether it's the economy for you or I and our viewers, or for his donors. But it's funny that he tweeted that because that's been kind of their talking point, that we've created the record jobs, that unemployment is down, the stock market's up, everything's wonderful. Everybody has ample money, as Jen Psaki said on The View. Just go to a kickboxing class and drink margaritas. Okay, relax.
My advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, feel those emotions, go to a kickboxing class, have a margarita, do whatever you need to do this weekend, and then wake up on Monday morning. We got to keep fighting.
We'll fight for it. That's literally what she said on The View. So a new poll is out. And I'm reading from NBC News. Let me just give credit to who did the poll. I think it's an NBC News poll, actually. Yeah, NBC News poll. So, according to the poll, 72% of Americans say the country is headed in the wrong direction, essentially unchanged from the 71% who held this view in October. It marks just the 6th time in the poll's history when 70% or more have said the nation is on the wrong track in back-to-back surveys. On the economy, while job creation is up and the unemployment rate is down, 61% of respondents in the poll say their family's income is falling behind the cost of living. So 61% of respondents are basically saying they can't meet expenses. That's what that means. That's compared with 30% who say they're staying about even, and 7% who say their income is going up faster. So 7% is doing good, basically. And here's the chart. June 1996, 50% were falling behind. And now January 2022, 61%. So 61% say basically they're falling behind on expenses, while Biden is crowing about our economy is the only economy stronger before the pandemic. And just a quick reminder, this goes to other statistics. This is from 2019. Nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a surprise $400 expense. My strong indication is that has not changed much in 2 years. Maybe it temporarily changed, Steve, when Americans were got a stimulus check, when families were getting the child tax credit, which for a family could range between expanded unemployment. But now that all that temporary aid is gone, my guess is the same Americans, again, 40% of Americans couldn't afford a $400 emergency, still can't afford that. So I don't know. It seems very Gilded Age to me. And of course, Biden's a politician. They're going to dress things up and push their narrative. It seems very Gilded Age to me that Biden is putting out this message that the economy is better than it was before the pandemic, that he's saying our economic plans are working. I don't know what those plans are yet. I don't know. 61% is a big number. Cannot meet basic expenses, not to mention the other statistics I gave you. And oh, by the way, Colin, if you have this too, although we have a strike wave, we have strikes forming around the country. Union drives are going on around the country. We've seen some victories. The Kroger workers who were on strike in Colorado just ratified a new contract. Look at this chart. We're at 10% of employees are unionized in this country. 10% of employees are unionized in this country. That's down from 20% in 1985. So the floor is yours, Steve. New Gilded Age much?
Yeah, I think this is a bigger deal than I think anybody realizes. When you take aggregates, he says the economy as a whole, right? When he says as a whole, we're immediately talking macro and we're immediately talking aggregates. When you're talking about aggregates, that takes in all the outliers in the fire sector, aka finance, insurance, real estate, etc. Okay. And so, yes, you watching housing go through the roof. Why is it going through the roof? Because there's a scarcity of houses being built. Number two, you're looking at investment. Why is that? Because all the money from the pandemic went to the wealthy. You're looking at all these companies that did super, super good, including the vaccination companies and the pharmaceuticals, et cetera. And so they're going through the roof. And since this number that they're looking at is based on GDP and based on aggregates, right? What you've got now is a skewing of all the horrors below that line. And to your point, 61% of people can't cover a basic $400 problem. That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
Just to clarify, 40% can't afford $400 emergency. 61% in a poll now. The 40% can't cover an emergency, $400 emergency. That was from 2019. Currently, 61% right now in a poll out this week, 61% say they basically can't keep up with expenses.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying though. Bottom line is that aggregates mask the class structure of our society. If you look at this and you actually tear it off by tiers, tear it off by levels of people, right? You're looking at a group of people at the top, very small amount of people that are doing very well. And you're looking at some pikers or mid-level people, the upper middle class that are doing pretty well because they have investment money that is circulating in that fire sector, right? But the average person, the regular Jane and Joe six pack, the rest of us, we're not doing so great. And then the people that are really hurting are really, really hurting. And so this number always skews that. If you did a stratification and looked across, I guarantee you there would be nobody that would give you a straight face answer and say this economy is doing well for anyone. The Uberization of society is real. You showed it in that unionization number, down from 20% down to 10%. I mean, we're talking about a country that wants to bring about labor, but all the laws going back to Reagan up to present have done everything they could to block real legal union actions. They have made it harder to unionize on the work site. They have made it harder to do any kind of labor. And one of the subjects that you and I had talked about was even the nurses. Nurses trying to leave one hospital to go to another. They've got courts stepping in, blocking them from being able to do those sorts of things. So there's no one there championing not only regular labor, but any kind of frontline workers, you name it. Everyone is being squashed by this except for the investor class. And this is peak neoliberalism. This is what Biden is selling you. He is selling you an economy as good because of the aggregate. Don't listen to the aggregate. Peel back the layers of that. Look how the regular Main Street is living. And Main Street is hurting and hurting bad. And it's going to get hurting worse as we got this thing in our head that government spending created the inflation. So naturally, now the Fed is going to hike interest rates. Well, what does hiking interest rates do? Think about this for a minute. Hiking interest rates gives the wealthy more money because that's where that interest goes. That's number one. So it's a basic income for the already rich. Number two, it puts off buying decisions because you and I can't get credit now for things. So it makes the cost of goods more expensive. And number three, it is absolutely a lie across the board that interest rates solve inflation. The only thing that they do is raise the price of things. Interest rates are a key component to actually creating more inflation. The only way that this in any way, shape, or form could help out with inflation is if somehow or another the production of those goods and services caught up to demand. And that's, in my opinion, their lopsided brain thinking that if we make it harder to get credit, if we make it more expensive to buy things, that people will slow down on their decisions to buy and that the businesses can catch up and build more. That's the only thing I can think of, but that's faulty thinking. It's not the way it should go.